by my Govt more than a month after a section of the homestead belonging to Johann Masso, the Wadzidzu church founder Aaron Mukuta Gomo, was vandalized. Government is still to investigate the incident. Wimbo, the head of the Mount Darwin-based Johann Masso Wadzidzu church, is famed for having allegedly foretold 60 years ago that Zimbabwe would be led by a man with the name of an angel, Gabriel, with the prophecy allegedly coming to pass when Mugabe, whose middle name is Gabriel, took power from the British in April 1980. Mashonaland Central Provincial Affairs Ministers Martin Digne told the Daily News yesterday that he was still gathering the facts and would share the findings once he has the full picture of what had happened. Don't have the facts on the ground yet because that needs to be done since you know that there are factions there, Digne said. Once I get the two sides of the story, after investigations, I will come back you. Digne was part of a probe team set up by former President Robert Mugabe to investigate Wimbo's alleged abduction by a faction of his church. The other members of the probe team are Kembo Mohadi and Ignatius Chombo. While Digne could not be pressed into revealing the team's findings, that Mugabe and Chombo fell out with the current administration of President Emmerson Mnangagwa complicates issues for the team in the sense that the alleged aggressors have close links with the status quo. Last month, the Daily News crew visited Wimbo's homestead in Madzilwa and spoke to the prophet's second wife, Enisia Mukuta, whom he married in 1958, who narrated the family's ordeal. She said immediately after Mnangagwa's inauguration last month, dozens of church members, the majority of whom were once Wimbo's patients before his abduction, stormed the homestead and started demolishing several houses without explanation. They said they were now in charge after Mnangagwa became president, since he was one of them, and they were saying you will realize that Gwina and Oruma the crocodile bites and that they were on a mission to punish us, so they removed all the roofing, window and door frames from all these houses, saying because they were built by my husband, therefore they belonged to the church, Enisia said. I, however, do not believe that the president sent them. We all thought after taking my husband by force here they would be satisfied, but it looks like they want us dead, and they will not rest until they achieve that. I do not know what crime we committed to deserve this. Now I am wondering who is cooking for my husband after the death of his younger wife, Jessica Nzara, with whom he had no children but was now staying with at the shrine. Wimbo's family also alleges that some members of the church murdered a fellow church follower, Jacob Zifungard, on March 16, 2014, in connivance with Wimbo's fourth wife, in a desperate bid to wrestle control of the church, and allegedly also using Mnangagwa's name. Gomo, 94, popularly known as Mudzidzi Wimbo, was allegedly abducted by his church aides last year, for political reasons. Since then, his children have not accessed him, while to his family Wimbo is just a father and cleric. For some, the 94-year-old holds the key to the country's succession politics. Having correctly predicted Mugabe's rise to the throne in 1957, Wimbo has emerged as some sort of a cult. According to legend, Wimbo prophesied that independent Zimbabwe would be ruled by a man carrying the name of the angel Gabriel, which came to pass in April 1980, with Mugabe, whose middle name is Gabriel, becoming the nation's prime minister. But as age began to take its toll on Mugabe, now 93, both his followers and ZANU-PF bigwigs believed he was on the cusp of making another pinpoint prediction that could shape ZANU-PF's topsy-turvy succession debate. It was therefore unsurprising that there has been a scramble and beeline of sorts to court the enigmatic character, in the vain hope that he could give an instant indication as to who was to take over from the veteran leader. Since 3 years ago, Wimbo's church has been rocked by debilitating fights, with his 3 wives and children estranged from him, accusing senior church officials of having kidnapped Wimbo 2 years ago to force a prophecy favorable to Mnangagwa's long-held ambitions to succeed Mugabe. The prophet's children claim that the father's captors had convinced Mnangagwa that the enigmatic prophet wanted to announce him as Mugabe's successor. In October 2015, Nangagwa visited the revered Matsubaba Wimbo's shrine ostensibly to help raise funds for a new school there. He was subsequently told by Wimbo, who is also known as Mutsidzi Maginester, that he needed much prayer and assistance to succeed Mugabe. The Daily News crew witnessed all the proceedings, having gained entry pretending to be congregants at Wimbo's church. The frail nonagenarian prophet suddenly rose from his seat and directed Nangagwa to follow him around the shrine, even though Wimbo had initially said he was neither going to speak nor perform any duties, and started to prophesy with fervent intensity. He walked with so much difficulty that it required 2 men to support him as he hobbled around the grounds, with Nangagwa in tow, and as many of his followers, seemingly overcome by the occasion and the spectacle, went into trances. Speaking through an interpreter, Wimbo said, "Ano de Cube Showa Angas Vagona Seiko Arioga. Hand is Eve. Kuti Endoitas of a Pico. Vari Kanditira Night Vare Nek Uno Nangagwa needs help as he can't do anything on his own. I don't know what I should do to help him." As he spoke, his followers roared, with many dressed in pink, white, sky blue and light green garments, speaking in indecipherable tongues. Coincidentally, Nangagwa was inaugurated as Mugabe's successor on the back of assistance for the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, which stepped in, purportedly targeting criminals hiding behind the former president. One of his sons, ex-Navia Gomo, a South African-based medical professor, told the Daily News in a telephone interview yesterday that the family had been taken aback following the latest development. "We wonder what the future holds for us. The family is living in fear after over 100 church members came to our home and started to indiscriminately destroy houses, saying they had won the war and that they can now do what they want." Gomo said, "We allowed them to do whatever they wanted to do because we have realized that no one will give us protection, although we are not convinced that the new president is the one directing them to be lawless like that. I think they are only taking advantage of us because since they forcibly took our father, nothing has happened to them." Stunned by the church members' actions, Gomo said he sought for an explanation from Major General Douglas Nyikayamba, the church's chief security officer. The response was lukewarm, as he simply said he was away when it happened and promised to investigate, but up to now we have not heard from him. Both Nyikayamba and Wimbo's spokespersons Shapid Chingwina's mobile numbers were not reachable yesterday. Daily News.